Looks like we are live.
Are we?
Yeah, it
दिखा
shows
रही
it's
है?
live. Yeah.
ब्रॉडकास्ट ही नहीं हुआ है अभी तक.
Shows we are live.
Recording has started, क्या?
Huh.
Okay, let me check once. All right.
So hello and welcome everyone. One of the most beautiful journeys we start, and this time we bring you a very experienced professional, or you can say a subject matter expert. But when we talk from the per se of spirituality, we always say that one is an eternal student. So I would really, with all my heart, welcome Vidyasagar ji, and he is going to take us through this magical, mystical journey of the life and the teachings of Swami Ayyappan. So me and Shruti were just talking about, doing a couple of series and master classes touching base upon a lot of saints. So, do look out this space for much more interesting stuff. That's where we thought, why not speak about, Swami Ayyappan, a very well-known deity, a home deity. Everybody feels in Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, lots of devotees visit him every year. In Magaravilakka time on the 14th of January, and they start this very beautiful 41 days periods of penance, wherein they abstain from all the prescribed ways, and they live a life of a perfect yogi with only remembering Ayyappans in their heart. So I would like to bow down to all those Ayyappans who are watching us, and I bless, I pray on behalf of every one of us that may the blessing of Ayyappan, Swami Ayyappan, be there with all of us as we start our journey today, knowing him. How was he as a son? How was he as an avatar? How was he as a leader? And what was the ultimate culmination of Mahasamadhi, and what as a person of you and me of this time and age can take away from just looking at the life of Swami Ayyappan. Shruti, all over to you. Kindly introduce Vidyasagar ji, and please, I would really like to know, your perspective about this series. I am excited.
Thank you so much, Preeta, and welcome everyone, to this series of, knowing Ayappa. And we have really a very humble devotee of Ayappa here. His name is Vidyasagar ji, as, Preeta mentioned. We are actually very honored to have him. We would like to hear more about him from himself, but let me just introduce you. He also has his own foundation, which is based out of in Kerala, and he does the teachings of Ramana Maharishi, as well as he has been initiated by Amma. There's so much more to know about everything that he has done from his childhood, from learning Yajurveda, also being in the tradition of the Kanchi Mutt, being associated with really nice saints. I mean, every saint is nice, but the whole thing is he holds a lot of knowledge that we can explore during these 3 days. And with this, we welcome you, Vidyasagar ji. Let this journey of learning for us for the next 3 days be a lot of fun, a lot of easiness and lightness. So over to you. First, definitely by introducing yourself.
Thank you very much, Ms. Shruti Nair and Preeta Nair. Both of you were really encouraging from the first day we met through this Zoom meeting. And I was requested to talk about Ayappa and the pilgrimage and the mystical meaning behind everything that is associated with Ayappa. And today I'm so lucky to have a space like this where I can meet thousands of devotees at a time and convey my ideas and my message about spirituality to them. And I think most of you, I think all of you are devotees of Guruji Sri Ravi Shankar Ji Maharaj. So you got that kind of a rearing up in spirituality, yoga-based, meditation-based kind of living. So it's very wonderful because the world has changed a lot since these Mahatmas appeared on earth. Because when we were children, we did not have much people to give us guidance through our life. But now we've got so many gurus, masters who are enlightened and who are really ready to help us. So I was also a person who was a little cracky kind of person. I question everything. I don't believe anything at the first sight. I question things. I have a skeptical mind. But then, whatever the brain says, there should be a hearty answer for it. It is just like a child who does not have the language to express his emotions, just cry out and the mother responds. So spirituality is also like that. There should be that kind of a highest sensitivity, which is called bhakti, which can really make the divine mother of the universe answer to you. But it may not be logical, it may not be scientific in the sense of the word that is understood by people, majority of people right now. So I was also a very skeptical person, though I was educated very traditionally by great acharyas of the Veda, traditional acharyas. I was educated in the Yajurveda, trained in chanting the Yajurveda. There are 5 major types of chanting a Veda. And these 5 are even bifurcated into 2 as Prakriti Patham and Vikriti Patham. Prakriti Patham is a natural kind of articulation of the Veda, and the Vikriti Patham is the different arrangement of the Vedic sounds, like Padam, Kramam, Ratham, Jata, Ghanam. Like there are different types of chanting the Veda. You might perfectly know, because in the Art of Living Ashram, Sri Rudram happens quite often. I have seen on TV. I don't have any personal experience with Gurudev. I have never been to his ashram. Once I was about to move to his ashram, when I was in Bangalore, one of my friends told me that there is one person called Girinji, who you can go and he introduced, the person introduced me to Girinji that day. And I was they said that Vidyasagar ji would be visiting the ashram. Please do some sort of kindly make some arrangements like that. So, but I was about to move. Then I saw on the TV that there was a shooting at the ashram. Some miscreant shot fire at the ashram, and there was a big problem about that. I thought, no, I should not be going there because I'm a stranger. They might think, seeing me, I am the stranger who shot. So my friends told me not to go today. We will go in another auspicious day. But that auspicious day has not come yet. But I can see his devotees. Through you, I can see him. So anyway, I was born into a traditional family in Kalpati. I was educated in this Yajurveda system of Krishna Yajurveda. In Yajurveda, there are 2, Krishna Yajurveda and Shukla Yajurveda. Krishna is black, Shukla is white. Krishna Yajurveda and Shukla Yajurveda, this bifurcation happens only because of the parting of different mantras according to time and sages. So it doesn't mean that Krishna Yajurveda is the black Veda. No. Krishna Yajurveda is just a bifurcation. In ancient times, they used to say A, B. Instead of A, B, they say Krishna and Shukla. When there are only 2 things, in the ancient sages would say, this is Krishna, this is the first thing. This is Shukla, this is the second thing. Like this is just a bifurcation, it's a naming. So I was introduced into Krishna Yajurveda. I belong to the Vasishtha Gotra. And luckily enough that I could go to the real Peetham where Vasishtha did tapas to please Mother Tara. That is in Tarapet in Kolkata. Amma Sadguru Shri Mata Amritanandamayi Devi initiated me into the mantra, and she instructed me to visit that place and do meditation there alone. That is a Smashan Ghat, cremation ground. Most people won't choose that because Lord Shiva chooses Smashana because there is no disturbance. There's no point of, there's no question of Wi-Fi connection. There's no question of wife's connection. Nothing is there. Everybody is sad except Shiva in the crematorium because Shiva knows the principle of life. Life is so impermanent. Now, I used to read Swami Sri Sati Sai Baba's literature a lot. Once one captain, flight captain asked Baba, you are blessing me. I'm so happy. I got a permanent home, a house today. Baba asked him a very, very significant question. Baba asked him, how permanent is permanent? This is see, whatever we call permanent in life, permanent job, permanent house, permanent status. How permanent is that permanent? Only up to the time the body exists healthy. So the only permanent thing is the vibhuti. Everyone becomes vibhuti. Everyone becomes it. So these sort of ideas, principles led me throughout. I'm running an organization called Hridaya Vidya Foundation. Hridaya Vidya means the quintessential knowledge, the cardinal knowledge enshrined in the Vedas, the Upanishads, the spiritual lore of India. Hridaya Vidya to Atma Vidya. There's a self-knowledge. That is called Hridaya Vidya. And there are n number of means to reach there. Pranayama is possible. Meditation is possible. Bhakti puja is possible. Japam is possible. Different paths lead to the same goal. Only your intensity is important. So that is why in the Yoga Sutras it is said that Tivra Samvegana Asanna. Only the most intense gains first or fast. So this is about me. I am a postgraduate in linguistics. That is my education qualification. I have tried attending the doctoral degree. That means after the MPhil, I was supposed to become a doctor, not the literal sense of the word, doctor by doctrine. But I could not finish it because I was too lazy to attend to mundane knowledge. Too lazy. I could not finish anything in time. So I was naturally kicked out of the researchers team. So I'm now just a beggar with a linguistic postgraduate degree. That's it. That is about me. And Hridaya Vidya Foundation is stationed at one of the Shakti Peethas in India. Shakti Peetha means after Dakshayaga, Sati Devi immolated herself. Sri Parameshwara took her, and Sri Mahavishnu with his Sudarshana Chakra cut her into 54 pieces. Each piece that fell on different places of India became Shakti Peetha, places reverberant with the divine power of the Divine Mother. So they are called Shakti Peethas. One such Shakti Peetha is in Karnataka, where Guruji is also having his headquarters. Karnataka, in Dakshin Karnataka, there is a place called Kollur, where goddess Mukambika resides and blesses people. So my trust headquarters is in Mukambika. So not in Kerala. Why not in Kerala? Kerala is very difficult land to foster spiritual practices. If somebody becomes victorious in planting spirituality in Kerala, he is accepted worldwide. It is very difficult. It is like planting a tree on a rock. Yeah. So anyway, can I go into the topic, or is there anything more?
No,
yeah.
We can. We'll just start with Ayappa, and then who's Lord Ayyappa? Who worships him? Why is he worshipped? And how does he become the Kula Devata? I'm sure, coming from a Brahmin family, you yourself, all of us pray to Ayappa. And these 41 days are so auspicious as a Vratam, So if you can, and what is the process that we do in these 41 days? I mean, if you can just quickly take us through the life of Ayappa also.
Yeah. Beginning with that. There are two stories, almost like parallel lines, that run through the mind of every devotee of Ayappa. One story is that you have heard about Mahishasura. Mahishasura was a wayward vagabond who used to disturb and irritate devas and manavas. And all the devas wanted a solution for that, and they approached Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu said, we'll find a solution. And Mahavishnu gave certain powers to a particular deity. Shri Parameshwara gave certain powers to a particular deity. Brahmadeva or Pitamaha gave certain powers to a deity. And the deity became so powerful that Trimurti's power, also the demigods' power, Kubera, Yaksha, everyone gave lot of powers to this particular deity. So when every god gave one or two of his powers, that in culmination became a very powerful deity. That is called Chandika Parameshwari, Chandika or Chamundi. So Chandika, now you know that in Mysuru we have got Chandika, Mysuru Chandika. So Chandika Parameshwari killed Mahishasura and made the world more peaceful. No, when your sibling is killed, you naturally take revenge. Mahishasura's sister Mahishi wanted to take revenge. Again, she started troubling. I don't know how many of you understand Malayalam. In Malayalam, there is a saying, if a woman starts agitation, nobody can stop her. Even Brahma cannot stop. Everyone who is married knows this. So when she is irritated to the core, you don't have food, you don't have tea, you don't have coffee. You have what you have only is sounds coming into your ears. So it is like this: that man has a limit, women have no limit. That's it. So Mahishi started havoc everywhere. She started disturbing devas, especially tapasvis. You know what? These Mahishasura and Mahishi, they are representative of the feeling of kama. They represent our Mooladhara and Swadhisthana. When you start, you don't have any trouble if you're just watching Netflix and if you're just going to the pub and you come late and sleep, you don't do any Sudarshana Kriya, you don't do any Padma Sadhana. If you just sleep up to 10 o'clock, nobody questions, your life is so good. When you meet a master and start slowly and slowly some sadhana, every hell is going to get loose. You just opened the Pandora's box. Up to that time, everything was very okay, good. I used to sleep at 1 o'clock, no problem. Pub, parties, friends, everything was okay. But now I met Guruji, I met Amma, I met Sadguru, I met this and that, and I started some sadhana. Then what happens? Then Mahishi starts disturbing, or Mahishasura starts disturbing. These are kama. Kama means desires. You had desires. You wanted to go to the pub. You did. You were happy. But now in spirituality, kama becomes very difficult. It is like this. I'm wearing a dark blue, navy blue shirt. Now if a spot of dirt is on my shirt, it is not noticeable. Suppose I change the shirt into a white shirt, pure shirt, even a small speckle of dust is noticed. Like that, your master is giving you a white robe through initiation. So from that moment, you start noticing, oh my God, I'm so dirty. I've got so many thoughts and unnecessary, indecent thoughts coming into my mind. These thoughts disturb you day in and day out. So what is the way out? You naturally pray, oh Gurudev, or you pray to your favorite deity. In India, we have got the system of favorite deity. You can pray to Krishna, you can pray to Shiva, you can pray to Muruga, you can pray to any deity. You can make that deity the Brahma itself. you can think that the deity contains the entirety. That is a freedom of Hindu religion, and that is the way we worship. So Mahishi started playing havoc and she disturbed tapasvins. That is a problem. See, if she disturbed wrong men, it was okay. She started disturbing those who are doing tapas to devas. If somebody is praying, she'll come and disturb him with a thought. So Mahishi and Mahishasura are representatives of the kama desire in us. So Mahishi wanted to see, it's always the opposite sex that kills. You understand, right? Suppose, when I sit for meditation, a woman's picture comes. When you see, I can say only Shruti Nair and Preeta Nair. That's why I'm talking like this. And there are so many people. So if a man sits for meditation, a woman comes in the mind. If a woman sits for meditation, a man comes into the mind. Now we have transgenders. I'm not forgetting that. That too is there. Everyone has an opposite view, which is attracting them emotionally. So a Mahishasura, a male ego is killed by Devi, an opposite sex. So this is clearly stated in the Yoga Shastra, Yoga Sutra written by sage Patanjali 5,000 years ago. He said, Vitarka Bhavane Pratipaksha Bhavana. When you have Vitarka in the mind, when your mind tells you, hey, don't get up now. What is wrong if you sleep for half more hour? What is the problem? It's just half an hour more. What is wrong with it? Anyway, office is at 8:30. Now it's just 5 o'clock. Padma sadhana can be done tomorrow also. So it's a vitarka bhavana. Then immediately you have to produce the opposite bhavana. That is what yoga means. So when you have that idea, start thinking that no, it is not possible. I am not a lazy man. Don't try to trick me into trouble. And you get up. Likewise, a male problem is confronted by a female solution. A female problem is confronted by a male solution. And Shasta or Ayyappa is the male solution for a female problem. Yeah, understand? So it is mainly for the male tapaswins that Shasta is there, because Shasta represents Urdhvaretas. Have you seen people? I've got this tuft of hair here. This was Shikha. You know that? A man bun, Shikha. When my Kundalini rises up and becomes so mature and it starts producing Amritam in the Chandramandala, this tuft will go up here. You have seen Agastya, you have seen Rishis doing that, right? The tuft will go there. Yeah, that tuft is a symbol of ultimate realization. That means this man has reached that level of jnana, wherein his mind is merged into the divine. So Ayyappa is also sitting like that. When you observe the picture of Ayyappa, you can see that he has a big tuft of hair on top of his head, just as his father. His father is Lord Shiva. Now Mahishi took a boon from Brahmadeva. Brahmadeva is like a little reckless about giving boons. When somebody comes in and asks him about, as Brahmadeva, I'm doing tapas for this, he just passes him out. It's like a Kerala's SSLC examination. Anybody passes the examination. Even people who were not present in the examination hall gets passed. So Brahmadeva is creating such a problem for other deities, because when these asuras go running and playing havoc around with the power and certificate of Brahmadeva. And what was the boon that Mahishi got? Mahishi got the boon that no other deity can kill me other than the offspring of two males. You see that? There is that's what I told you, this is a vitarka bhavana. The opposite is always created. There's a confrontation. So what to do? And there was a time when the Amritam was served to Devas. Lord Vishnu wanted to trick these asuras. Lord Vishnu is very diplomatic. The first diplomatic officer of the world is Lord Vishnu. He's so diplomatic. Whatever problem is there, he has a diplomacy there. Shiva is not like this. Shiva is so straightforward, just as our fathers are. All our parents, you see, mother is so diplomatic. Mother knows how to make us drink milk. What does dad do? Dad comes and beats up. Drink. And we don't drink. A mother has certain methods. So this motherly method is called Vishnu. When you approach a problem very diplomatically, very sweetly. Yeah, Shruti Nair told me. Shruti Nair wanted to stop my introduction. I took a lot of time. And Shruti Nair smiles. Great. Then I know that she's irritated. I need to stop now and go to the topic. So women have this special quality of diplomacy, of doing things. Men are not like that. Men are like very straight. They don't know anything. Actually, men are so limited. So have you noticed this? When a husband dies early, it is a boon. If the wife dies early, the husband will start searching for his own brief around. He does not know where it is. Think about this. So wife is preserving the family. Likewise, Vishnu is a feminine energy that preserves the universe. Vishnu is Thitikara. Vishnu is preserver of the world. Brahmadeva creates the world. Brahmadeva creates troubles also, just as in the case of Mahishi. Vishnu starts preserving it to the point of exhaustion. Vishnu wants to play with it, and ultimately he hits the goal. Shiva is a destroyer. Rudra is a destroyer. Straightforward, boom. That's called bam bam bole. Like that. So, at the time of the serving of Amrita, ambrosia to Devas, Vishnu Deva took the form of a female called Mohini. Mohini, what is the meaning of Mohini? Mohini means very attractive. She woos everyone. In our colleges, we have people who are head turners. Suppose a girl passes by, you naturally turn back. Mohini was a head turner of that time. So what happened? Then Devas decided this is the right time to produce that baby who can kill Mahishi. Because anyway, Vishnu Deva is in the form of a lady. Shiva is there, present. So then they went about, after serving ambrosia, Vishnu and Shiva in this form went about the forest, roamed inside the forest, and had a beautiful baby called Shasta. What is his name? Shasta.
Just, I would like to intervene here, Vidyasagarji. Just a
Please,
question.
please,
You
please.
know, we all know about this churning that has happened, right?
Yeah.
Manthan, and then there is so much that has been spoken. And what is this Amrit? What is this Manthan or the churning that has happened? And you know,
Yeah.
why did a Mohini come up? Like I've heard that some, you know, Kamdhenu came up, and then Kalpavriksha came up. So what does it mean spiritually, that, you know, this churning has happened? Why did it happen? And what is the, you know, when you say nectar of life or the elixir of life, why did everybody want it? Could you touch base upon that before we,
Please,
you know,
please.
continue our journey?
I respect your question. You already know the answer. That is vivid from your face. But
Yeah,
for
I
those
just
who,
wanted it
but
for everybody
yeah,
here to
but
know.
but for those who don't know the answer,
Yeah.
I'll explain. Yeah. Okay. So you know that the entire process of spirituality is the play of consciousness. In Siddha Yoga, I told you in the first meeting, I'm a practitioner of Siddha Yoga. I told you. In Siddha Yoga, the ultimate power is called Chiti. Chiti. It is called Chiti. Chiti means consciousness or light of consciousness. So this Chiti is called in a popular parlance as Kundalini. Kundalini. Yeah. So Kundalini is the crawled up, coiled energy, which is present in every being's body. That is why we call ourselves alive. Alive. So this chitti induces sleep, this chitti induces activity, this chitti induces sex, this chitti induces everything in you. Suppose you are a good dancer, the dance is a play of chitti. If you are a good speaker, that is a play of this chitti. If you observe beauty everywhere, that is also a play of chitti. If you observe only the negatives, when you go to Art of Living headquarters, you don't get accommodation, you start questioning Divinity. You say, this is not a good place. I think I heard a lot about it through media. Now, see, I don't even have a good place to stay. Like that, you start, this is a play of chitti. And you are not aware of this. The master is perfectly aware of this. And in order to create that turbulence in you, that is called Manthan. Yeah. The Chiti creates a turbulence. The first things that come up are not good. Always. Because the first points that are touched upon are Mooladhara and Swadhisthana. Both are troublesome chakras. See, you have first you have negative thoughts on Aisha. Is this master realized? I don't think so. You always think about the other person. You don't think about your status. So this Manthan happens in everyone's body mind complex. Intellect is a big trouble there. The only way is not to touch upon intellectual ideas there. In those times, just surrender. And somebody asked Ramana Maharshi. Ramana Maharshi said surrender is the greatest way to get liberated. And somebody was very happy. Oh, just surrender. That is easy. I'll do that. And Bhagavan said, what do you mean by surrender? This guy said, surrender is just surrender. I say, I surrender to you. That's it. No, it is not a verbal thing. What is surrender? Surrender is surrendering of all likes and dislikes. You should not entertain any personal likes or dislikes. That is why ashrams are built in India. When you go to the ashram, you cannot be choosy. You cannot be touchy. You have no personal likes or dislikes. There is no place for it. You always surrender to the group interest. That's why group activities are taught in DSN. Yeah, you have no choice. You are put into a position where you become a slave. Unfortunately or fortunately, you think that I am a slave. I am left in the middle of an activity. I don't know what to do. Then your mind naturally knows that there is only one way to go through, that is surrender. And let me tell you, you have heard people dying on the cross, people dying in a war. You've heard a number of stories. But can you point out the greatest sacrifice in the world? The greatest sacrifice is that of Shiva. Shiva, what he did, when the Kalakuta Visha, Halahala came up, poison, venom, it is stated in the Puranas, just the smell of Halahala would do for you to die. Just the smell would do. Everyone started wearing the mask at that time because of Kala Halahala. Yeah. Except Shiva. Shiva is so straightforward. He said, okay, this is going to destroy the world. Yes, it is going to destroy the world. Mahadeva, people approach everyone, every deity, Asura and Deva. Everyone said, no, not me, not me. Now, this is in the ashram. You can see that difficult tasks are always taken up by people who are really surrendered. Others would say, let Ramesh do that. Yeah, let Mr. Pai do that. Let Mr. Patel do that. Let him do that. Let him do that. So letting him is actually you are closing up your ego and preserving it. Then Shiva, what he did, yeah, let Kalakuda come. I am going to save this world. Shiva is the real savior of the world. Spiritually, also, Shiva is Adi Gurunatha. Adi Guru. Why? Because he teaches us, whoever you are, you be the first and primordial master. You are supposed to take the first step in sacrifice, not your position. You are Mahadeva, Maheshwara, Parameshwara, you are this, you are that, but you are ready to sacrifice yourself for the entire world. This is the principle of spirituality. Service, renunciation. Swami Vivekananda was asked by some disciples, Swamiji, what are the ideals of the Indian nation as a nation? Swamiji easily said, the twin ideals of the nation are service and renunciation. Service is a very feminine quality. One of my friends got admitted to the hospital. He was in that, they give anesthesia. Yeah. After 8 hours, he woke up. The first thing he did after waking him up was he just vomited. Where? Into my hands. I was standing near the bed. And his own dad was standing nearby. And he said, you have such tyaga, you took my son's vomit. It was not a conscious activity, but naturally there is a sense of renunciation and service in a man. So Manthan is a spiritual turbulence. Manthan is a spiritual. It might have happened some time in the past. We are not concerned about that. But what is the Shiva principle there? Shiva is the principle of renunciation. What is the Vishnu principle there? Vishnu is the principle of service. He served everyone, both Asura and Deva. So spirituality is not just closing your eyes and breathing. Spirituality is tested on the grounds of real life. If you have two ideals, service and renunciation, you're tested always. So this is it. So Kurmam is the Muladhara, and every chakra can be compared to that. You know that there's a eulogy like that. So this is the principle. Shiva is the greatest Tyagi. He's called Tyagisha because nobody was ready to take a venom. If it was ice cream, everyone would have queued up and taken it.
And what is this Amrit? What is this elixir of life that everybody, and it's just spoken through and through. So what is that Amrit, and why was a Mohini born to protect that? And then maybe we'll continue with how Shasta was born.
Ayappa, I'll come to Ayappa. Amritam, what is the meaning of the word Amritam? Immortal. Amritatvam, immortality. So in the Veda, it is clearly stated, Tyage naike amritatva manashu. Only by renunciation that you gain immortality. This is the adage used by Amma Sastram. In the emblem, you can see that. Tyage naike amritatva manashu. Only by renunciation that some have got immortality. Shiva got the first immortality in the Shastra. So he is called the Adi Yogi, the first man to share Amritatva. Everyone is under him. That's why he is called Mahadeva. So Amrita is not a food item. It is Amritatva, deathlessness, immortality. You live in the crematorium. When everyone dies, you become a witness. That witnessing, ever witnessing, impartial witnessing is called Amritatva. Your own body may die, you witness it because you are not the body. That consciousness, that knowledge is Amritatva, not a food item. Any food item getting into the body will become, one portion will become our mind, one portion will become the body, the third portion will become the excreta, not immortality. So Amritam is not a food item. Amritam is wisdom gained by renunciation. Okay, understood?
We can move ahead. Yeah. It's so just for the audience, Shruti, would you like to say anything? Because there is so much of layers of knowledge that we are talking, because I'm sure a lot of the viewers, as we were telling you, Vidyasagar is around the world. So the concepts of even an Amritam from a Tattva level, and it is, about the service and renunciation aspect of it, will definitely help us looking at these stories from a different lens altogether today. Shruti, would you like to say anything? And then maybe definitely we really urge you to move ahead. What happens when Shiva and Vishnu moves, culminate, and how is a Shastra born? Shruti.
I'm also actually, just understanding the flow of how the feminine energy is Vishnu and how the, masculine energy is Shiva, and how beautifully it is explained by Vidyasagarji. I think I'm glued to the conversation. Go ahead, Vidyasagarji.
In between, you're glued to your phone too.
Not really.
That's okay. That is okay. We are all kids of the Divine Mother. We are free to play. We are not. It is a crime to be serious. You become playful. That's it.
You have the most naughtiest people around you.
Really good. So Shastra, coming back to Shastra, and Mahishi, I told you, it is Kama. It is a disturbance in spiritual path. Tapaswins are affected first. Others have no problem. Somebody boozes and sleep, and he does not have a problem. Nobody, not even a snake bites him. Nobody wants him. But when you start your spiritual journey, every sort of trouble is going to hit you. Even a look of another person, a comment by somebody, everything is going to affect you. You become so sensitive, physically, mentally, intellectually. And that real fight starts. This is called the Mahishi Vadham by Shastra. In the Bhutanatho Bhaktyanam, there is a text. It is clearly stated. Not the spiritual significance, but the physical fight between Shastra and Mahishi. In any way, a child is born out of the grace of Shiva and Vishnu. Devas do not copulate and produce kids. It is not right to say that it was a homosexual relation. Not really. Because devas are light bodies. They do not have the mud body. We have mud bodies. Yeah, they have light bodies. When somebody realizes the light, he is called a deva. Guru is the dispel of darkness, that is Shiva. Deva is light, that is Vishnu. So Guru Dev is light of lights. So this is actually Deva Sharira. Actually, a master has a Deva Sharira. That's why he called Guru Deva, because he's both Shiva and Vishnu. He's both masculine and feminine. He's both masculine and feminine. So you can't have a warrior like Guru always. No, there should be both parts. You should have both parts, both the Vishnu part and the Shiva part. In the Shiva part, he directly gives you instructions. In the Vishnu part, he becomes so diplomatic and cuddles you, and tells you you're so sweet, like that. And you should be very careful there. See, with Shiva, there is no trouble. You get the point directly. Shruti, you have this problem. You should correct it. That is Shiva point. And I said, Shruti, everything's so beautiful. You're so excellent today. And why did you wear this kind of dress? That comes later. See, it is diplomacy. So Shastra has the quality of diplomacy, motherhood, very important, motherhood, and the Guru Bhava, Shiva's Bhava. So Shastra is both the Guru and Deva. Shastra is a Guru Deva, actually. So all the pilgrims that go to Sabarimalai chant loudly. I told you, Hariye Guruve Sharanam Punnayappa. Hariye means Lord Vishnu. Guruve, Lord Shiva. I surrender to you, Ayappa. Surrender is a complete annihilation of likes and dislikes. You know, I heard that I have not attended any course of art of living. I have heard that at one particular day, on one particular day, people are supposed to bring their own food, right? And then when they are told to close their eyes, and every food, this is shuffled, and you get somebody's plate, right? This is a practical way of understanding our likes and dislikes get shuffled in spirituality. You should not be choosy. My plate, my food. you eat whatever
It
is.
doesn't end up there.
Yeah, I understand. There are a lot of processes like that. I have heard. I have not attended that. But anyway, that's a good.
No, Vidyasagar ji, I'm saying my food, my plate, it doesn't end up there. It's like my children, my house, my every time.
Yeah, I have heard that. That is a good thing because you practically know this is the way it has to be. You practically know that it is not your food, your cooked food. No, one of my relatives attended this program and he got really irritated because you know the problem. Traditional families, they cook food with a lot of care. When that is shuffled, they get irritated.
Likes and dislikes.
Yeah. Again, the mind becomes naughty and mind plays the game. So then what happened? Shasta started taking on Mahishi. Who is Shasta? What is the meaning of the word Shasta? Shasta means somebody who does shasanam. Shasanam means teaching, instruction. So he who gives instructions, teachings is called Shasta. Somebody who gives shasanam. Shasanam has two meanings, majorly. First meaning is spiritual instruction. Second meaning is warning.
Oh.
Raja Shasanam. Today onwards, nobody is supposed to smoke in public places. It is a Raja Shasanam. Yeah. So Shasanam is a spiritual instruction as well as a physical, outward, worldly instruction. Both. So world is controlled by Vishnu. Spiritual world is controlled by Shiva. So Shasta is a single unit of both these instructions. So Shasta took on Mahishi and killed her and made her a slave. How? You have problems, your thoughts, your mind is not here, your mind is traveling all the time. I've heard a beautiful story told by Amma. One man had a fear of rats. He used to dream rats. Every day he's agitated. He fears rats. And so, sorry, the other way. He thinks himself as a rat, and he fears cat. Yeah, he fears cats, dreams cats, and gets up suffocating. He complains to his wife, "I fear cats. They're around. Let me go under the cot." And he was so fearful. And he was brought to the hospital, mental hospital anyway, asylum. Doctors consoled him, had a counseling session for 6 months. After that, he was about to leave to his home. And doctor told him, taking him to the mirror and said, "See, you are a human being. Just as you have a mustache, I too have a mustache. We are human beings. And cat is not like us. And rat is not like us. You are not a rat." Understood? Yes, sir, I understood. He went home. That night, the doctor had a call from this man. The man said, "Sir, I fear cats again. I see that they are around. I fear them. What to do?" You do, and then that doctor started giving a satsang. a big discourse on why you are not a rat. At the end of the satsang, doctor thought the guy understood. I don't know how this session will end up. I don't want it to end up like that. Anyway, so the guy said, Doctor, I understand perfectly what you said. I understand that I am not a rat. I'm not a rat. I understand that. But Dr. G, does the cat also understand that? That was his problem. He understands that he is not a rat. But does the cat also knows that I'm not a rat? So this is the way spiritual instructions are given to disciples. They interpret, they don't understand. So Shastra gives us spiritual instructions, physical instructions, and that mingles up in surrender. Because surrender is the first principle of all the pilgrims of Ayappa. They do not wear costly clothes. They wear only a dark cloth, a black cloth. I think this is the only temple where that tradition exists. They wear a black dress. They sleep on the bare floor. They don't sleep with their wives. Wives are naturally, in olden time, wives were sent to another home called Anjampura in Malayalam. They were sent to another room, a separate room, which is not adjacent to the home. All these 41 days. 41 days or 48 days have a speciality. It is actually 48 days. 41 is naturally translated like that. 48 days is a mandala. Mandalam or mandala means a circle. In our childhood days, teachers would say, sit in a mandala. Sit in a mandala means sit in a circle. You form a circle. Yeah. So mandala means a circle. What is the speciality of a circle? A circle always starts at one point and ends up at that point. You have heard about Gurudev's teaching that do not move an inch. Right? Have you heard that? Have you heard him saying that? In one of these books, he said, to remain in the self, do not move an inch. You be the self, do not move an inch out to the body or mind or any digression, be there. So that is a circle. So that is why all these masters are called Purnam. Purnam means a circle. Purnam. Purna Chandra. Yeah? Guru Purnima. You know that. Everything is perfect circle. Circle speciality is that, I understand. Yes, Vishnuji, I understand. So a mandala is a place, is a speciality. You take all this pain to go to Shabarimala. You take a lot of pain. The best and biggest pain is controlling your Mahishi. Your Sadhisthana chakra is a very disturbing chakra. The moment you start your vratam, vratam is Varjyanam Varjanam Vratam. Renounce everything that has to be renounced. That is vratam. So then you start a lot of kinky thoughts. You have sexual ideas, thoughts. Whatever you see only sex there. Wherever you see sex is there. So the problem comes. So you fear that your vratam may be broken. But you take hardships. You chant loud Sharanam Ayyappa like that. That is a quality of loud singing. Bhajan, when you sing loud, it really controls the Swadhisthana. When you sing loudly, it controls the Swadhisthana. And then these people go, they climb up the 18 steps, 18 steps, and goes to the sanctum sanctorum. Before entering the sanctum sanctorum, what they see there, they see a board on which it is written Tattvamasi. Tattvamasi. A man, you have taken this much of hardships. You started from your home, you reached here, but that which you are searching is really you are that. Yeah. So it's a circle. These hardships are needed. Hardships are needed. You start a journey and end up in the philosophy that you are searching for. So it becomes a circle. So the mandala becomes both physically and spiritually a full circle. So this teaching is generally called Shasta or Shasanam. So that Shasta was found by King Rajasekhara. Rajasekhara was the father of Lord Ayyappa. When was that in history? 1025 AD to 1050 AD. He was found in a forest near the Pampa River. It was dense forest. The Raja used to have strolls there with his retinue, and he heard a cry of a baby, and he went inside the deep forest and he saw that a small infant was lying on the floor with a speciality, that is, he had a beautiful gem attached to his throat. So he is called Manikantha. In Sanskritam, Mani means gem, gemstone. So Manikantha. So the Raja naturally named him Manikantha. So Manikantha was taken home to the palace and he was brought up. And the rest of the story can be had tomorrow. Already finished 10 minutes.
Tomorrow we'll learn more about Manikantan, his life in the palace, his relationship as a son and the father, and how does he go and kill Mahishi, and the
Yeah,
last day we will see about how does he take Mahasamadhi and Shabrimala.
yeah,
So
sure. So today I'm not supposed to talk all this because Shruti madam has already given me the Shasanam.
she's already acting on the Shiva energy. But
No,
thank you so much.
she is Rajasasana, that is Vishnu energy. Your spiritual energy. Yes, that is Shiva.
So thank you so much, Vidyasagar ji. We'll quickly we do this every time. Like knowledge is learnt in three ways, right? Like the first is Shravana, that we are listening to you. Then we do Manana. So we'll quickly do recap. This is what we'll do every session.
Please,
And
please,
then
please.
we'll keep, I request all the viewers to kind of keep thinking what Vidyasagar ji said. And then till a time it becomes a part of your being. That is when it becomes Nididhyasa. So Shruti, I will recollect a few and you can recollect a few. Okay. So what I understood from the start is, how Vidyasagarji told where does he come from. He told us the great lineage and learnings of Ramana Maharishi, and he has learnt about Veda, and there are two types: Krishna Yajurveda and Shukla Yajurveda. And then he spoke about how he comes from Vashishta Gotra. Vidyasagarji, me and Shruti, we come from Atreya Gotra, and
Ah,
he spoke about the Shikha. That was so beautiful. Like we have heard in chants where they touch their Shikha, but we understand the spiritual meaning of Shikha today. And what does it mean about the shikha coming on the forehead, and when the kundalini rises, then he spoke about how the kundalini rises, it comes down as an amritam. Gurudev does a couple of meditation wherein he gives us this experience. Then he spoke about what is I'll leave that to Shruti, about Vishnu and Shiva not only being how are the energies like. Then he spoke about how the energy of Brahma is like. Very beautifully he spoke about Mahishasura and Mahishi being the desires, and how he gave a beautiful example that till the time a guru doesn't come into your life, whatever you do is fine, but the moment you start spirituality, that is when a lot of desires come. Then he spoke about how guru gives you a white cloth, and like you are wearing a blue cloth, you don't see the dirt. And then he also spoke about what is this manthan, about the spiritual turbulence that gets created, and that is when renunciation and service is important. Over to you, Shruti, and then post that we'll just share the Harivarasnam and end the session.
Okay, so I think what I recollect and what I really resonate is with two things, that your thoughts, how when you're getting spiritual and how your Mooladhara and the Swadhisthana plays a bigger role in your life. And if your Mooladhara and Swadhisthana is not actually in check, the desires will keep rising. Until the time that desire keeps rising, that is the rise of the Mahishi inside you, which you need to keep every time destroying. He also tells about how the light, the Guru Dev, why you say it's Guru and the Dev. I like the explanation that he says about Hariye Swami Sharanam Ayyappa. I mean, because
Hariye Guruve Sharanam Ponnayappa.
Hariye Guruve, which means Hari is the Shiva and the Vishnu.
Hari is Vishnu.
Vishnu and the Guru Shiva. Yeah, the Guru is Shiva energy, and how these two energies are lights of lights. Like how the Guru becomes the light. Lights of lights. He dispels the darkness that is around us. Apart from that, he very beautifully quoted some of Amma's teachings as well as Ramana Maharishi's teachings. He also brought in some nice quotes about Swami Vivekananda, what he says. And it's so nice to, just actually when you think or when you just hear, just when the Shravanam is happening, there is so much of cleansing happening then itself. Apart from that, please excuse us while we were using our phones.
How permanent is permanent?
Yes. How permanent is permanent? Who is Shasta? And how is the Kundalini inside us? Actually, the mother inside us, always alive. So these are the things that Vidyasagar ji has taken us through, and whatever we have learned, let's, like how Preeta said, let's go back and sit and contemplate with this beautiful knowledge. We will shortly end because yes, we will be on time and we are running out of time. Will not take much time. We will just listen to a very nice, beautiful classic bhajan. It's the lullaby for all the South Indians. Just a minute before I tune in for all of you. Preeta, meanwhile, do you just want to tell them what the song is all about?
Yeah, so I really hope, Vidyasagar ji, that you had a great time. It's it's a very different confluence of mind. I would also like to tell what Vidyasagar ji spoke about mandala. We will hear more about him, significance of 48 days, significance of the strength you receive from abstinence, and also that he spoke about Mani Kanthan. Mani means the gem, and then he spoke about hala hala and the significance of poison. Then he spoke about how he comes from Vasishtha Gotra and he has prayed it to Mother Tara. So as he was rightly saying that Tara is one of the Dashamaha Vidya Devis. Then he at the onset spoke about how opposites are complementary, and how, like, if you a rat will always think about a cat and not a dog. So like a man will always think about a woman and a woman will think about a man. So that's how for Mahishasura, Chandika Devi had to be incarnated, and how for Mahishi, how Shasta had to come down, and how I would like to understand what does the innocence energy of Swami Ayyappa represent as a child. So we learned a lot of new things today. This song, I think all the Malayalis are hearing. Okay, so here it is. So we pray to Lord Ayyappa that he graces the event for tomorrow and day after as well.
Harivarasanam Vishwamohanam Haridakishwaram Aradhyamadukam ഹരിവിമർദ്ദനം നിത്യമർദ്ദനം ഹരിഹരാത്മജം ദേവമാശ്രയേ ശരണമയ്യപ്പ സ്വാമി ശരണമയ്യപ്പ ശരണമയ്യപ്പ സ്വാമി
ശരണമയ്യപ്പ
ശരണകീർത്തനം ഭക്തമാനസം ഭരണലോകം നർത്തനാരസം അരുണഭാസുരം ഭൂതനായകം ഹരിഹരാത്മജം ദേവമാശ്രയേ ശരണമയ്യപ്പ സ്വാമി ശരണമയ്യപ്പ ശരണമയ്യപ്പ സ്വാമി
ശരണമയ്യപ്പ
പ്രണയസത്യകം പ്രാണനായകം പ്രണതകൽപകം സുപ്രഭാജിതം പ്രണവമന്ദിരം കീർത്തനപ്രിയം ഹരിഹരാത്മജം ദേവമാശ്രയേ ശരണമയ്യപ്പ സ്വാമി ശരണമയ്യപ്പ ശരണമയ്യപ്പ സ്വാമി ശരണമയ്യപ്പ തുരഗവാഹനം സുന്ദരാഹനം വരഗദായുധം വേദവർണ്ണിതം ഗുരുകൃപാകരം കീർത്തനപ്രിയം ഹരിഹരാത്മജം ദേവമാശ്രയേ ശരണമയ്യപ്പ സ്വാമി ശരണമയ്യപ്പ ശരണമയ്യപ്പ സ്വാമി ശരണമയ്യപ്പ ത്രിഭുവനാർച്ചിതം ദേവതാത്മകം ത്രിനയനം പ്രഭും ദിവ്യദേശികം ത്രിദശപൂജിതം ചിന്തിതപ്രദം ഹരിഹരാത്മജം ദേവമാശ്രയേ ശരണമയ്യപ്പ സ്വാമി ശരണമയ്യപ്പ ശരണമയ്യപ്പ സ്വാമി ശരണമയ്യപ്പ ഭവഭയാപഹം ഭാവുകാവകം ഭുവനമോഹനം ഭൂതിഭൂഷണം ധവളവാകനം ദിവ്യവാരണം ഹരിഹരാത്മജം ദേവമാശ്രയേ ശരണമയ്യപ്പ സ്വാമി ശരണമയ്യപ്പ ശരണമയ്യപ്പ സ്വാമി ശരണമയ്യപ്പ കളമൃദുസ്മിതം സുന്ദരാനനം കളഭകോമളം കാത്തമോഹനം കളഭകേസരീ വാജിവാഹനം ഹരിഹരാത്മജം ദേവമാശ്രയേ ശരണമയ്യപ്പ സ്വാമി ശരണമയ്യപ്പ ശരണമയ്യപ്പ സ്വാമി ശരണമയ്യപ്പ ശ്രുതജനപ്രിയം ചിന്തിതപ്രദം ശ്രുതിവിഭൂഷണം സാധുജീവനം ശ്രുതിമനോഹരം ഗീതരാലസം ഹരിഹരാത്മജം ദേവമാശ്രയേ ശരണമയ്യപ്പ സ്വാമി ശരണമയ്യപ്പ ശരണമയ്യപ്പ സ്വാമി ശരണമയ്യപ്പ ശരണമയ്യപ്പ സ്വാമി ശരണമയ്യപ്പ ശരണമയ്യപ്പ സ്വാമി ശരണമയ്യപ്പ സ്വാമി ശരണമയ്യപ്പ സ്വാമി ശരണമയ്യപ്പ സ്വാമി ശരണമയ്യപ്പ പഞ്ചാദ്രീശ്വരി മംഗളം ഹരിഹര പ്രേമാകൃതേ മംഗളം പിഞ്ചാലംകൃതമംഗളം പ്രണമതാം ചിന്താമണി മംഗളം പഞ്ചാസ്യധ്വജമംഗളം ത്രിജഗദാമാധ്യപ്രഭോ മംഗളം പഞ്ചാസ്ത്രോപമ മംഗളം ശ്രുതിശിരോലങ്കാര സന്മംഗളം
So, with this, we'll all take your leave and see you sharp tomorrow at 8:30 for more knowledge with Vidyasagar ji, and of course with my co-creator Preeta for the whole session.
Namaste, namaste.
Namaste. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.